Hey guys, welcome back to Geared Forwards. My name's Paul, and today we're taking a look at maybe one of the best, if not the best, UK legal pocket knives out there that is also great at pocket knife in general, the Spyderco UKPK. So, let's start off with a little bit of an overview in terms of size comparison, and then we'll dive into what exactly is so great about this, and if any of you have noticed something wrong, brownie points. So, to start off with, we have a 91mm Sasami knife and a 58mm Sasami knife, a compact and classic respectively. And then we have a 4mm and something I consider to be a fairly good competitor to this as a UK legal option. Here we have a Boca Tech Tool 1. So we can say that the UKPK is a bit of a long boy closed. Go ahead and do that comparison, but with blade length now. Why did I not do that to begin with? Well, you see, I'm a little tired. I'm recording a lot of these videos back to back. And finally, the competitor. Okay. So now this is the only UKPK I currently own. It is in CTS BD1. Come on, focus. There we go. It is a Sal Glesser design, as we can see by his maker mark, and it is made in Golden, Colorado, USA, which is on Earth. Maybe unlike their other factories, I'm not entirely sure. Now, this does come in multiple blade shapes, the more traditional Spyderco leaf shape blade. I personally like this. I can't remember what they call this particular blade shape, but it is very nice. In terms of handle design, it's very ergonomic. We basically have a full 4-finger grip where this finger is going in the choil and then wrap around. My hands are somewhat on the larger side, wearing a 9 or 10 work glove. And still a little bit of extra room, and if you really wanted to, you could maybe with the clip put a little bit of lanyard on this to get a little bit extra room if you do have mammoth hands. Now, this is a UK legal knife, which means that there is no lock. So part of the design is that this choil, when your hand is in there, besides being comfortable and letting you get nice and close to the blade edge for work, it also means that should this break the detent, it just closes on your finger. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a jimped surface. This is not a comfortable situation, but a little bit of a skin marking and discomfort is a lot better than a sharp blade cleaving into your fingers. Now, this is a slip joint design with this back spring that it does have a half stop. What does that mean? That means that you basically have a little bit of resistance here before it then continues on to close. And that's basically just a safety feature. It makes it a little less likely to close on your hand, but with this choil, I don't think that's much of an issue. But getting a half stop is nice in addition. I believe Spyderco call their slip joints slippets, if you've seen that marketing before. We have an FRN handle. This is just standard black. Now, they do have a lot of different versions, a lot of different sprint runs of the UKPK where it's in different blade steels and different handle materials, I believe. At one point, if they don't still have it, Haney Haynes in the UK did have a special red-handled version. Now, something that maybe some of you caught was missing is that there's no clip on this knife. Now, this is a tip up left or right carry knife, as you can see by the markings here, and this should have a wire clip. I do have an example of the Spyderco wire clip. This is a Pingo, also UK legal, and it's a nice, fairly deep carry. The clip itself weighs basically nothing, and it's a very nice clip to use. It's a very nice clip to use. So why don't I have one on the UKPK? Quite simply because it broke. This is a very nice clip to use, but it does have the integral strength of a bent over paper clip. So essentially one day after work when I was getting out of the car, the clip snagged on the seatbelt, and instead of just bending like a different kind of more traditional, something with more metal might have just bent out, that could have been bent backwards, it just snapped and went into multiple pieces. Now, I could transplant a wire clip from one of my other Spydercos, I could request or purchase another one, I haven't got around to it. I honestly don't mind carrying this just loose in the pocket, but that is something to bear in mind. Whilst this is a great pocket clip carry-wise, it is also a very fragile pocket clip, and you shouldn't be surprised if you break it. That is one trade-off versus the more traditional pocket clips, where you could flip the clip around and bend it back into place. Now, it is incredibly thin, very lightweight. Let's actually get a measurement on the weight. So without the pocket clip, it's 1.52 ounces. The pocket clip can't add much at all, which turns into about 43 grams. You will really struggle to remember it's in your pocket sometimes. Ergonomically, it is fantastic. You get a nice, and again, I'm speaking to the specific blade shape, but you get a nice thumb ramp with some jimping as well as the choil. You get a nice sharp tip, a nice amount of belly and some flat. The only thing really missing from this knife is a bit of a sharpening choil, but that's really my only complaint. I've had this for probably almost a decade now. I've never had any issues with rust with the CTS it's BD1, sorry. And its edge retention is more than adequate. I'm sure that some people might prefer one of the other runs in a more modern, more durable steel, but I'm going to be real, I don't do intensive cutting. If I'm going to be cutting through cardboard, I'm going to use a box cutter for that, because why would I just ruin my edges? And I have enough options that I rotate regularly enough that it takes a while for my knives to get blunt or need a touch-up. So in terms of the EDC UK legal landscape, this is an excellent option. However, it is on the pricier side. You do get the Spyderco warranty. I've never had to use that. I'm not sure how well that process is working in the UK or how much of a delay you'd face. I've never had any problems besides the clip, which is understandable. I will say I think these probably run about 70 plus, maybe 100 plus for some run pounds now, which you could probably convert into dollars in terms of USD and then knock it down a bit. I will say that I do think this is worth the money, and if I lost this or something like that, I would probably buy another UKPK at some point when I was financially able to. But I will say, if you're just looking for a UK legal knife that will do the job, there are many, many options that will also do the job, but also not be anywhere near expensive. I mean, this is a copper scale version of the Tech Tool 1, and it was like half of what I paid for the UKPK. And then, you have a vast variety of, Swiss Army knives that also do the job. So you are definitely paying a premium, and I think some of that is the importing from America. I think some of that is the Spyderco name and warranty, but I do think it is worth it. Just know that you don't have to pay that premium in order to get a functional knife. Now, the action itself is very nice, open and closing one-handed easily. Now, the mixture of the backspring and the half stop means that flicking this is probably possible, but going to require a bit more effort than normal, and not something I typically would do, and certainly not something I'm going to attempt right now underneath my phone with a light tripod right there. But I've never had any issues. It's a fantastic action. I've never had to disassemble or lubricate this. This is just how it came from the factory, and how it's been serving me for the best part of a decade now. So that's what I think. Highly recommend it if you can afford it and want to spend that kind of money. But again, you don't have to. And even if you're not bound by the UK or similar laws, I still think this is a fantastic lightweight option that will fit into many EDCs. And practically speaking, whilst this doesn't have a lock, it's not going to close on you. So let me know what you think of the UKPK in the comments section down below. And whilst you're down there, why don't you hit that like button and subscribe? Every little helps grow this channel so that we can keep moving on to bigger and better things. And until next time, I've been Paul. I hope you have a wonderful day.